Good morning. I'm Valerie Bowman, a member of UUS and a worship associate, and my pronouns are she and her. It's wonderful to be with you this morning, and if you're here in person to help ensure a smooth stream for those watching on YouTube, please either turn off your phone or silence it and turn off your Wi-Fi. As most of you know, our minister, the Reverend Diana Smith, is on temporary medical leave, and during her absence, members of this congregation are organizing and presenting our services. As people of many ages, genders, races, sexual orientation, classes, abilities, and health statuses, we know how important it is to come together as a radically welcoming spiritual community. As Unitarian Universalists, we believe what our consciences tell us we must believe. We are guided by the shared principles and sources of our living religious tradition. As we gather, we give thanks for this land and all who have stewarded it over the centuries, particularly the nations who lived in interdependence with this land before colonization. The Kickapoo, the Iowa, the Sauk and the Meskwaki, and the Sioux Nations. In her book, Braiding Sweetgrass, Robin Wall Kimmerer writes, "You can't listen to the Haudenosaunee Thanksgiving address without feeling wealthy. Recognizing abundance rather than scarcity undermines an economy that thrives by creating unmet desires. The Thanksgiving address reminds you that you already have everything you need. That's good medicine for land and for people alike." And we're going to share a long greeting this morning, and we ask that each of you join with us after each piece of the greeting. Now our minds are one. The people. Today we have gathered and we see that the cycles of life continue. We have been given the duty to live in balance and harmony with each other and all living things. So now we bring our minds together as one, as we give greetings and thanks to each other as people. Now our minds are one. We are thankful to our mother, the earth, for she gives us all that we need for life. She supports our feet as we walk about upon her. It gives us joy that she continues to care for us as she has from the beginning of time. To our mother, we send greetings and thanks. Now our minds are one. The waters. We give thanks to all the waters of the world for quenching our thirst and providing us with strength. Water is life. We know its power in many forms: waterfalls and rain, mists and streams, rivers and oceans. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to the Spirit of water. Now our minds are one. The fish. We turn our minds to all the fish life in the water. They were instructed to cleanse and purify the water. They also give themselves to us as food. We are grateful that we can still find pure water. So we turn now to the fish and send our greetings and thanks. Now our minds are one. The plants. Now we turn toward the vast fields of plant life. As far as the eye can see, the plants grow, working many wonders. They sustain many life forms. With our minds gathered together, we give thanks and look forward to seeing plant life for many generations to come. Now our minds are one. The food plants. With one mind, we turn to honor and thank all the food plants we harvest from the garden. Since the beginning of time, the grains, vegetables, beans, and berries have helped the people survive. Many other living things draw strength from them. We gather all the plant foods together as one and send them a greeting of thanks. Now our minds are one.
The medicine plants. Now we turn all the medicine herbs of the world. From the beginning, they were instructed to take away our sickness. They are always waiting and ready to heal us. We are happy there are still among us those special few who remember how to use these plants for healing. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to the medicines and to the keepers of the medicines. Now our minds are one. The animals, we gather our minds together to send greetings and thanks to all the animal life in the world. They have many things to teach us as people. We are honored by them when they give up their lives so we may use their bodies as food for our people. We see them near our homes and in the deep forests. We are glad they are still here, and we hope that it will always be so. Now our minds are one. The trees. We now turn our thoughts to the trees. The earth has many families of trees who have their own instructions to use. Some provide us with shelter and shade, others with fruit, beauty, and other useful things. Many people of the world use a tree as a symbol of peace and strength. With one mind, we greet and thank the tree life. Now our minds are one. The birds. We put our minds together as one and thank all the birds who move and fly about over our heads. The Creator gave them beautiful songs. Each day they remind us to enjoy and appreciate life. The eagle has chosen to be their leader. To all the birds, from the smallest to the largest, we send our joyful greetings and thanks. Now our minds are one. The four winds. We all thankful to the powers we know as the four winds. We hear their voices in the moving air as they refresh us and purify the air we breathe. They help us to bring the change of seasons. From the four directions they come, bringing us messages and giving us strength. With one mind, we send our greetings and thanks to the four winds. Now our minds are one. The thunders. Now we turn to the west, where our grandfathers, the thunder beings, lived. With lightning and thundering voices, they bring with them the water that renew life. We are thankful that they keep those evil things underground. We bring our minds together as to send greetings and thanks to our grandfathers, the thunderers. Now our minds are one.
The sun. We now send greetings and thanks to our eldest brother, the sun. Each day, without fail, he travels the sky from east to west, bringing the light of a new day. He is the source of all the fires of life. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to our brother, the sun. Now our minds are one. Grandmother Moon. We put our minds together to give thanks to our oldest grandmother, the moon, who lights the nighttime sky. She is the leader of women all over the world, and she governs the movement of ocean tides. By her changing face, we measure time, and it is the moon who watches over the arrival of children here on earth. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to our grandmother, the moon. Now our minds are one. The stars. We give thanks to the stars who are spread across the sky like jewelry. We see them in the night, helping the moon to light the darkness and bring dew to the gardens and growing things. When we travel at night, they guide us home. With our minds gathered together as one, we send greetings and thanks to the stars. Now our minds are one. The enlightened teachers. We gather our minds to greet and thank the enlightened teachers who have come to help throughout the ages. When we forget to live in harmony, they remind us of the way we were instructed to live as people. With one mind, we send greetings and thanks to these caring teachers. Now our minds are one. The Creator. We now turn our thoughts to the Creator, or Great Spirit, and send our greetings and thanks for all the gifts of creation. Everything we need to live a good life is here on this Mother Earth. For all the love that is still around us, we gather our minds together and send our choicest words and greetings and thanks to the Creator. Now our minds are one. Closing words. We have arrived at the place where we end our words. Of all the things we have named, it was not our intention to leave anything out. If something was forgotten, we leave it to each individual to send such greetings and thanks in their own way. Now our minds are one.
Good morning. I see nobody has hymnals, so you'll have to read it off the screen. So I'm Alex Heatland. I'm your music director here. Here's Xinhui. Here's the UUS singers. We're here to help you all sing along on a hymn. And that hymn is Here We Have Gathered. So I invite you to rise in body and spirit as we join together in this song. Here we have gathered side by side, circle of kinship, come and step inside. May all who seek here find a kindly word. May all who speak here feel they have been heard. Sing now together this our heart's own song. Here we have gathered, called to celebrate days of a lifetime, matters small and great. We of all ages, women, children, men, infants and sages, sharing what we can, sing now together this our heart's own song. Life has its battles, sorrows and regret, but in the shadows let us not forget. We who now gather know each other's pain. Kindness can heal us as we give, we gain. Sing now in friendship this our heart's own song. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Kara Beauchamp. I'm a worship associate and a member of this congregation. I use the pronouns she and her. As Unitarian Universalists, we light a flame within a chalice as a symbol of sanctuary and safety to unite us in worship and to remind us of our ongoing search for truth. Please join me in saying our chalice lighting words as Coraline lights our chalice. Here comes Coraline. Thank you. Life is a gift for which we are grateful. We gather in community to celebrate the wonder and mystery of this great gift. So let us now kindle the flame of our liberal religious heritage and renew the covenant of mutual love and care. Love is our doctrine, the quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer, to dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, and to serve those in need. This we promise, this we covenant with life and one another. When we light our candle for justice and healing, we hold space for our understanding of our interdependence, that our liberation is bound up with every other person's liberation, and for our feelings of rage and heartbreak over ongoing oppression, racism, and climate chaos. We light this candle that we may not be numbed or lost to injustice and trauma, but rather find strength, courage, love, together to continue engaging with the struggles for liberation, justice, and healing. We light this candle to remind ourselves that together we are creating resilience and hope. Today, as we light this candle, we're particularly mindful of those people around the world who are risking their lives to protest against oppression, especially in Iran and Russia. As I light this candle, let's hold up a time of silence to listen to our hearts and bodies, or perhaps lift up prayers.
We have come to our time for all ages. I would like to invite any children, youth, or those young at heart who would like to come forward to see our pictures of our story. Please come and join me. Otherwise, you'll be able to view the photo or the illustrations on the screen. Good morning. This morning, our book is We Are Water Protectors, written by Carol Lindstrom and illustrated by Michaela Goad. No, it's a real story. You have it? This is stuff that happens, yes. All right. Water is the first medicine, Nokomis told me. Who do you think Nokomis is? That means grandma. We come from water. It nourished us inside our mother's body as it nourishes us here on Mother Earth. Water is sacred, she said. We stand with our songs and our drums. We are still here. The river's rhythm runs through my veins, runs through my people's veins. My people talk of a black snake that will destroy the land. Is that a real snake? No. Do you know what that is? A tube carrying oil, yeah. Spoil the water, poison the plants and animals, wreck everything in its path. When my people first spoke of the black snake, they foretold that it wouldn't come for many, many years. Now that the black snake is here, its venom burns the land, courses through the water, making it unfit to drink. Take courage. I must keep the black snake away from my village's water. I must rally my people together. To stand for the water, to stand for the land, to stand as one against the black snake. We stand with our songs and our drums. We are still here. It will not be easy. It does, doesn't it? We fight for those who cannot fight for themselves, the winged ones, the crawling ones, the four-legged, the two-legged, the plants, trees, rivers, lakes, the earth. We are all related. Tears like waterfalls stream down, tracks down my face, tracks down my people's faces. Water has its own spirit, Nokomis told me. Water is alive. Water remembers our ancestors who came before us, she said. We stand with our songs and our drums. We are still here. We are stewards of the earth. Our spirits have not been broken. We are water protectors. We stand. The black snake is in for the fight of its life. The end. Thank you all for listening to our story today. Alex has a special song that you might have heard before.
Would you all like an egg shaker? We're going to sing this song, and we're going to walk out that door. You all have to keep singing. It goes like this.
Wait.
No, it doesn't go like this.
Any children or youth who didn't come forward for the song but would like to join us for religious education classes can come with us now.
All right, let's sing. Be open for something wonderful to happen. Be open to the possibilities. Be open for something wonderful to happen. Be open to the possibilities. Aye, 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 aye. Let's sing aye one more time. Aye, 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 aye. All right, thanks. Where do you want this? Open, close?
Hi, I'm Kirk Witzberger. Peggy Garrigus, our Director of Congregational and Community Engagement, who usually presents our Voice of Community, is attending our service online this morning because her wife, Sarah, has tested positive for COVID. If you're new to our community, we're glad you are here. If you're here in person, your neighbor or a greeter in the atrium would love to tell you more about UUS and maybe give you a tour. If you're here online, there's a link to a visitor form in YouTube Notes so we can connect with you. Our congregation is made up of many people and many communities. We gather in many ways to learn, sing, laugh, share meals, try new things, and help repair our beautiful, broken world. Together, we create a community that nurtures us as we live more fully and fiercely into the world. This coming week, there are several ways you can participate in living out our values. First, you can visit the Good Trouble UU the Vote table in the fellowship hall after today's service. I'll be there. Second, you can learn to care for each other's health after today's service at the CPR Automated External Defibrillator Training, which will be from 11:30 to 12:30 in the fellowship hall. Third, the Land Ministry invites you to a work day outdoors on the UUS grounds this coming Saturday from 9 to noon. And fourth, Johnson County Interfaith Coalition is hosting a candidate forum at the south end of Iowa City on Saturday afternoon at 2 p.m. with refreshments and children's programming. For more details, see the flyer posted on the colorful divider in the atrium. Finally, the vegan plant luck scheduled for today has been canceled. If you'd like to know more about these and other programs, we hope you'll sign up for our weekly email or look for our Connect Beyond Sunday guide at the welcome table.
Good morning. My name is Pete Brokaw, and I've been a member here for about 10 or 11, 12 years. If you look up the word impromptu in the dictionary, you'll see it right now. For some reason, I thought I was scheduled for next Sunday. And Emma came up before the service and gave me some information, and she said, and you're on the schedule for today. And I said, no, Diana's today. I'm next week. She said, okay. So I talked to Diana. She looked at me like I was crazy and said, no, you're on for today. So I'm giving you the stewardship update for this weekend. And I want to thank my fellow stewardship committee members, Diana, Liz, Mike Schmitz, Jerry Wetlaufer, and Barb Herring, who just joined our committee. We have a goal this year of $440,000 to support the operating budget for 2023. As of this morning, we have 72 pledges for $198,445.60. So that's a really good start for this soon into the campaign. But I want to encourage people who have who've been thinking about pledging and haven't yet, that the earlier that the board knows that number, the better they can do in coming up with the budget for next year. It's really important work that they do. And so the more information they have, the better off they are coming up with that plan. So if you need some, you should have received, most of you should have received a packet in the mail with information about the campaign and pledging material. If you need that information, there are packets in the back of the sanctuary out in the by the welcome table. So please do pick one up. If you have questions about stewardship, most of us on the committee are here today. We'd be happy to talk to you about the campaign. So with that, I will give up the microphone. Thank you.
Thank you, Pete. I'm so glad you came today. As we enter into our time of meditation, contemplation, and prayer, we acknowledge the joys and sorrows of our congregation. We do this by dropping stones into a bowl of water, symbolically immersing our personal joys and sorrows into the flow of all life's joys and sorrows. The water surrounds and holds the stone, just as we are surrounded and held by the love and support of this congregation. As you came in, you may have picked up a stone that you've been holding. If you didn't pick up a stone as you came in, there are stones for you next to the bowl of water for those joys and sorrows that remain in our hearts. If you're participating in our service elsewhere, you may wish to meditatively hold a stone, wash your hands, or meditate on an object near you. And now, if you're in the sanctuary, please come forward and place your stone in the water as we sing, "Your joy is my joy."
Your joy is my joy, your sorrow my sorrow. Together we live our days, together we love this place. In beloved community, we are not alone. Your joy is my joy, your sorrow my sorrow. Together we live our days, together we love this place. In beloved community, so this is a new song for us, and it comes to us from a music director at a UU church in Dubuque, which is very exciting. So I'll invite you to join in as you wish and are able, and join us in these words that are so fitting for what we do here as a community. Your joy is my joy, your sorrow my sorrow. Together we live our days, together we love this place. In beloved community, we are not alone. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Jim Olson. My pronouns are he, him, and his, and I want to begin by thanking everyone who helped make this service this morning possible, a service which is combining the themes of Indigenous Peoples Day tomorrow and our UU values and voting. Like many of you, I am concerned. I'm concerned that the upcoming elections will bring to office people who deny election results unless they or their party win. I am concerned that voters will not have access to the polls. I'm concerned about the rise of heated political rhetoric, even the talk of civil war. And I'm concerned by the widespread belief of people from all political stripes that our democracy is in peril. I have to say that I'm actually more than concerned, I'm afraid. Today I want to share what I am doing to confront that fear. I've always felt strengthened by Unitarian Universalism because we believe that we can help shape history. The words and music elsewhere in this service reflect that optimism. But in the present moment, how do we find the strength and the courage to defend democracy and protect the sacred right to vote? Our UU principles provide a guide. Principle number 5 affirms that we believe in the democratic process in human affairs. So our defense of democracy is firmly rooted in our tradition. Beyond that, we must dig deeply into other UU principles, especially principles number 1 and 7. The first principle affirms the worth and dignity of each person. Voting and encouraging others to vote and protecting their right to vote are ways of asserting our dignity and that of other people. Principle number 7, the interdependent web of existence, reminds us that our fate is bound up with the fate of others. Defending the right to vote and encouraging people to exercise that right is a way of saying that our liberation is linked with the liberation of all people. How do we translate that UU theology into action? One answer is our denominational initiative called UU the Vote. UU the Vote is a national, nonpartisan program to engage us in reaching out to what are called low-propensity voters. Low-propensity voters may or may not be registered to vote. If they are registered, they may stay home on election day. They may be turned off by politics, or they believe that their vote doesn't matter. They need reminders that they are important, their voice matters, and their vote counts. Through UU the Vote, we can encourage them to register to vote and turn out on election day. The goal is to get people to vote, not to tell them how to vote. There are other organizations defending voting rights and encouraging voter participation. The American Civil Liberties Union and the League of Women Voters are two such groups. Many UUs, many of you, are members of the ACLU or the League of Women Voters. These are wonderful organizations with proud histories, but UU the Vote is not a UU version of the League of Women Voters or the ACLU. Rather, at the heart of UU the Vote is a call to form alliances with marginalized people, to be guided by their leaders and their priorities with the ultimate goal of realizing the beloved community, a term popularized by the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. The beloved community is diverse and multicultural, and everyone is cared for. UU the Vote grows out of our UU theology, a return to and close engagement with our current 7 principles and the proposed 8th principle endorsed by our congregation this spring, which affirms the beloved community and calls us to dismantle racism and oppression in ourselves and in our institutions. UU the Vote is about more than getting out the vote. It's about more than good government or good citizenship. It is one way to become allies with diverse individuals and groups beyond our walls, to move from charity and advocacy to solidarity and partnership with oppressed peoples, and in doing so, to truly live out our principles. UU the Vote offers many ways to do this outreach, to be allies, to be partners, to work in solidarity with those who do not partake of the privileges that we enjoy. On the information table in the social hall, we have resources on how you can write letters and send emails and make telephone calls to people around the country. And we also have information there about how UU the Vote provides spiritual sustenance for this work. To motivate UU congregations, UU the Vote has devised a series of actions we can take to be designated good trouble congregations. You recall, of course, that the late Representative John Lewis called upon us to get into good trouble as an essential part of the struggle for democracy. Getting into good trouble can be energizing. In 2020, 15 UU members and friends volunteered to contact formerly incarcerated people to inform them that they have the right to vote. It took great effort to collect the names and gather the contact information for these people. Our volunteers sent emails and made phone calls, but we actually reached very few people because our contact information was outdated. But despite that, the volunteers believed it was a worthwhile effort. After all, at least we tried, and as one volunteer said, we had the opportunity to put names to this abstract notion of formerly incarcerated people. Our actions in 2020 were an antidote to despair. This year, a group of us met with Reverend Diana and agreed that here we could get into good trouble by utilizing some local alliances that are evolving. One is the Johnson County Interfaith Coalition, called JKIC for short, an alliance of about 30 community-based organizations and congregations, a mix of black churches and others. UUS is a member. Reverend Diana was selected as co-chair of JKIC, and JKIC held its annual fundraiser here in our social hall a few weeks ago. As was mentioned earlier, JKIC is sponsoring a candidate forum in the South District on October 15th. Candidates for governor, Congress, the state legislature, and the County Board of Supervisors will be present. The candidates will be asked questions that were prepared in consultation with the residents of the South District. The event builds on efforts over the last few years to show that if you care about, say, education, health, housing, you should vote. I encourage you to attend, but even more, I encourage you to reach out, find a friend or a new acquaintance, and attend the event together. The candidates for office this year offer a variety of approaches. In my opinion, the choices are clear. I'm not going to suggest how you should vote, but that you should spread the word about the stakes that exist in this election. The ballot will also include an opportunity to vote yes or no on a proposed amendment to the Iowa Constitution on gun safety. If this amendment is adopted, it will be even more difficult to enact sensible gun legislation. My opinion, which you may not all share, but my opinion is that we should vote no. So I encourage you to reach out to spread the word about that, and also to tell voters that when they get their paper ballot on Election Day, they should be sure to turn over the ballot, because that amendment proposal is printed on the reverse side. In addition to the nonpartisan approach of UU the Vote and JKIC, the political parties offer abundant opportunities to reach out to voters. Their motives, of course, have nothing to do with UU theology, but still, that partisan work can provide a spiritual lift. I've been canvassing door to door for one of the parties, I will not tell you which one, and I have had many interesting conversations. I've discovered neighborhoods and people I would not otherwise have encountered. Will it make a difference? I have the faith that it will, but I don't know for sure. In any case, talking to people seems to be better than moping around the house waiting for the apocalypse. And it's good physical exercise. Door knocking is good physical exercise, so canvassing is good for the body and the soul. UU the Vote and getting into good trouble are works in progress. The work will not end on Election Day. Rather, they are immediate steps we can take on a far longer journey toward the blessed community where, in fact, the inherent worth and dignity of all are affirmed in practice and our interdependent destiny is secure. I close with the words of John Lewis. Do not get lost in a sea of despair. Be hopeful. Be optimistic. Our struggle is not the struggle of a day, a week, a month, or a year. It is the struggle of a lifetime. Never, ever be afraid to make some noise and get in good trouble, necessary trouble.
Good morning. My name's Quanda Hood, and my pronouns are she and her, and it is always a pleasure to be able to speak with folks here at UUS. Good trouble is not accidental. Good trouble is not inevitable. Good trouble is a verb, not a noun. UUS calls us to be good trouble congregations answering the call to organize their communities and engage in multiple and necessary tactics that help us win big for our communities in 2022. At every turn, we see voting become more and more restrictive. In fact, this week, the Supreme Court will hear a case that could further gut the Voting Rights Act and allow Alabama to ensure the BIPOC vote is so diluted that a fourth of its population may be affected, silenced. But how can we ensure people who have the right to be heard are able? UU the vote is one way for us to accomplish that. The truth is, I can't vote. I'm a permanent resident born in Trinidad, adopted before I was even born, and brought to the U.S. when I was 7 months old. My immigration story is quite a bureaucratic red tape adventure, which I won't bore you with here. But let's just say that I've lived here my entire life, and it took me 34 years and thousands of dollars to renew my green card. But immigration is a whole other story, and I'm here to talk to you this morning about voting. So how can I stand here and talk about getting out the vote when I myself cannot? I may not be able to cast a ballot, but I can help someone find their polling place. I can offer a ride if that's permissible and needed. I can help register people to vote. I can stand as an ally with those who can to encourage and support. And now more than ever, under the dangerous rhetoric of stolen elections and mass voter fraud, the voting landscape has been desecrated. And this was intentional. Lower-level courts have been packed with life-term judges that are in a position to do what we are seeing in Alabama. That, in turn, can force a vote all the way up to the Supreme Court, where, once again, precedent is challenged. It's discouraging, but it doesn't have to be. It's more than just letter writing, canvassing, and phone calling. It's these little actions, though, that are a single light in the dark. As more and more actions are taken, we can stand together until that single light is a fire of change. As a black woman, I get asked, especially by those that look like me, why should I vote for one side versus the other? Or why bother to vote at all? Does my vote even count? I say, if nothing else, let's stop a pendulum swinging farther than it already has swung. I tell them to vote for an ideology, not an idol, so that our government looks like us and reflects the glorious diversity of this nation. And it starts here. Because when more and more voting rights are taken away in the forms of suppression, intimidation, and restriction, we all lose in the end. From stopping mail-in ballots to fewer drop boxes or boxes that are so far away that those without a car can't get there. Less hours to vote during non-working hours and longer lines, a single vote is more important than ever. So what tools are in our arsenal? Talk about getting out the vote. Ask friends and families and strangers, anyone, do you have a voting plan? Are you clear on the issues that face this country, that not only face this country, but face your state, your city, your local elections? We can help folks find information and form an action plan. Vote like your life depends on it. I know that mine does. No matter who you align with or what you believe, the value of casting your vote the value is casting your vote and for that vote to be counted no matter what. Don't let anyone take that away from you. I may not have the right yet, but I spend my time, my money, my energy supporting those candidates and platforms to ensure that they can do the work that needs to be done. UU the Vote is one more way to actively support and encourage folks to have their voice heard. If that's good trouble, count me in. When we vote, we break the cycles of systemic and institutionalized thinking, that a good trouble changes the world we live in, This approach must be intentional, deliberate, in the face of adversity, defamation, indifference, and even suppression. We must remain vigilant in our commitment to this constitutionally given right, so that as a country as beautifully diverse as ours has a legislative body that reflects its constituents. Disruptive inclusion is a conscious, deliberate effort to inject and foster difference for mutually beneficial outcomes. There's no better display of this than voting. I'm reminded of why it is so important that we have these kinds of conversations and to make an agenda for disruptive inclusion and good trouble. We cannot think someone else will do it. It is up to us to turn emotions and feelings into actions that change the fabric of our collective story in the present and in the future. We cannot be afraid to get into some good trouble. We must stand up for what we believe in. As John Lewis said in his 2012 speech in Charlotte, North Carolina, "My dear friends, your vote is precious, almost sacred. It is the most powerful, nonviolent tool we have to create a more perfect union." Thank you so much, and I hope you'll leave today and make a plan for what you plan to do to vote.
Thank you, Jim and Quanda. How we give, what we do with our lives, our time, our resources, is a reflection of our values. In response to the abundance we are blessed with, every week this congregation donates generously to organizations in the community whose work aligns with our values and principles. Our community partner agency this month is the Emma Goldman Clinic. The Emma Goldman Clinic is a not-for-profit, independent organization founded in 1973 by a group of women driven by feminist ideals. They exist to empower women and men in all life stages through the provision of quality reproductive health care that includes abortion services, gynecology services, safer sex promotion, and active education. The Emma Goldman Clinic promotes respectful, client-centered, and participatory healthcare through informed decision-making, client rights, advocacy, and expansion, and support of pregnancy choices. They strive to provide an environment in which diversity is acknowledged and celebrated. On the screen, you will see instructions for how to give online, or you may take this time to write a check and address an envelope to UUS to be put in the mail. If you're attending the service here in the sanctuary, you can give online, or there is a basket for checks in the atrium. An usher can help you find that after the service. You may assist our community partner, contribute to the congregation to provide additional support for our operating expenses, or contribute toward your pledge to our society. The offering is a sign of commitment to this free congregation, which is completely supported by your generosity and that of all who join us. As we give and receive the offering, may we be transformed by our giving, and may the world be transformed by our gifts.
We shall not give up the fight. We have only started. We have only started. We have only started. We shall not give up the fight. We have only started. We have only started. We have only started. Together we have unity, hand holding hand, hand holding hand, hand holding hand. Together we have unity, hand holding hand, hand holding hand, hand holding hand. Never ever put to flight. We are bound to win. We are bound to win. We are bound to win. Never ever put to flight. We are bound to win. We are bound to win. We are bound to win. Refugees are welcome here. Let's be open-hearted. Let's be open-hearted. Let's be open-hearted. Refugees are welcome here. Let's be have only started. We have only started. We shall not give up the fight. We have only started. We have only started. We have only started. We shall not give up the fight. We have only started. We have only started. We have only started.
Nurturing gratitude and how we understand and express interdependence is part of how we live into our Unitarian Universalist faith. May what has been shared today help us more fully affirm our interconnection and live into love and justice. Immediately after the service, we'll have time for all to join in conversation and community. If you're online, a link to our Zoom coffee rooms is being dropped into the chat. If you're in person, we gather in the fellowship hall and outside for conversation. And if you'd like to know more about the resources used in today's service, you can find a bibliography at the end of our email order of service or using the QR code on your print order of service. And a question today, if you'd like to use this as a conversation starter, is how can you get into some good trouble this week? And now, to close our service today, we'll sing hymn 1017.
Yeah, building a new way. So I invite you to rise in body or spirit, and we'll sing this song. I hope you notice that we strive to use music from many various sources in our time together here. And so hymns, songs from spiritual traditions, songs from Africa, songs from that are written new for us. So I hope you appreciate that and join in every time we sing. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way. Every day we are building a new way. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. Hate and greed and jealousy. We are working to be free. We can meet our every need. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. Start with love, that is the seed. We can feed our every need. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Without these, the world would die. Peace and freedom is our cry. Thank you.
Please join me in the words for extinguishing the chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. All these we carry in our hearts and in our minds until we are together again. You can be seated if you like.
You know, I keep doing this. We haven't done the benediction yet, have we? Yeah. So we'll let you say your words. I know. You got to say the words.
Thank you, Alex. The benediction today is Be About the Work by Andrea Hawkins Camper, who is a musician, a minister, a mom, and recently resurrected. May we see all as it is, and may it all be as we see it. May we be the ones to make it as it should be. For if not us, who? If not now, when? This is answering the cry of justice with the work of peace. This is redeeming the pain of history with the grace of wisdom. This is the work we are all called to do, and this is the call we answer now. To be the barrier and the bridge. To be the living embodiment of our principles, to be about the work of building beloved community, to be a people of intention and a people of conscience. So be it.
Amen. Let it be so. Join me in that. Amen. Let it be so. Amen. Let it be so. Amen. Let it be so. Amen. Blessed be. Blessed be. Blessed be. Blessed